What up, my loves? This is LadyGamer35 here, and today we are reading I Dare You Part 5, a MiniCat slash H2O Vanoss fan art, or fan fiction. Now I have the little pig with me. Yeah. Okay, if this thing doesn't load... What I did wrong? Okay, here we are. I think I should put the piggy back. Yum, yum, yum. I just paused it just now. Okay. I should have my glasses. Where are my... Yeah, there. Scattered on my bed. Okay. It was 5 in the morning. The number on the bedside clock flashed him this information as he snuck back into his and Minnie's shared room. He hadn't meant to come back in here, but the need for a t-shirt that didn't smell like booze and was overwhelming. He would have stolen one from Evan if it wasn't for the fact that his boyfriend was a little sleeper and usually, a light sleeper, and usually attacked the first thing that woke him up if it wasn't Evan. He could have went without one, but being shirtless, in his opinion, was uncomfortable. Excuses. He pushed that taunting voice. It sounded like I'm just gonna do it in my normal voice, and I can't do voices. Sounded like Vanoss, of course. To the back of his mind, and carefully leaned down beside his side of the bed to shuffle through his bag. Minnie had taken over the entire bed and now laid with his face buried in Tyler's extra pillow, his breath deep and even. Realizing he was openly checking out his friend, the brunette looked down at his suitcase and busied himself cussing mentally as he looked for a decent shirt. Tyler. With a start, I had something on my screen. With a start, he looked up to see Minnie looking at him. The ginger smiled. His eyes fogged over from his earlier drinking. Tyler, what are you doing? Shaking his head, the elder continued his search. It's not important. Go back to sleep. I can't. I had a nightmare. That's so cute. Oh my god, I'm fangirling so bright. You're a grown man, Minnie. You don't have nightmares. What? The ginger looked up at him, brown eyes beginning to mist over. I did. Sure. He stood up and shook the shirt he had found, finding it suitable. When he went to step away from the bed, a hand grabbed his shirt. You're not leaving, are you? You'll stay? He hated himself. Really, he did. Fuck those guys. That hair and personality. He was completely wiped, and Minnie hadn't done anything but make it worse. He found himself quickly changing shirts and nudging the other male over so he could slide into the bed. Normally the two would sleep back to back with enough space between. Oh god, I already lost my place because I was looking up! Between them for another body, but now Minnie had pressed himself up to his side and thrown an arm over his chest. Feeling slightly guilty, the other was still pretty drunk from earlier. He attempted to create some distance between them, only to no avail. The ginger only tightened his grip and laid his cheek on his chest. "Die?" "Yeah." The latter looked up at him and smiled. "Thanks. You're a really good friend." Feeling like he had been kicked to the gut, Tyler nodded. He had to remember that, they were close friends, but that's all they'd ever be. A kiss in his jaw had his cheeks turn a slight red, and he began to hate himself even more. He was just setting himself up for hurt, but he couldn't help it. People did stupid things when they were in love, after all. That was so short, I'm so continuing. There's footsteps. Load. La-di-da-di-da. The sun against the back of his eyelids caused him to wake up, and he opened his eyes, yawning. He was extremely uncomfortable with the weight on his side. Wait, what? His gaze snapped over the male snuggled up against his side, and every single cuss word he could think of was suddenly on the tip of his tongue. Stupid. What the hell was going through his head last night that made him think crawling into bed with the one person he shouldn't was a good idea? He should not have wakened. He couldn't move. Any movement he made would wake Minnie, and he wasn't ready to deal with the questions that would no doubt be thrown at him. Not only was it early in the morning, he still had a hangover from the night before, and it only added to his quickly developing badly mood. God, that's a long sentence. I gotta write an essay soon with class. The ginger let out a hum and rubbed his cheeks against the material of the elder's shirt. At least one of them was in a good mood. Letting out a breath, he glanced at the clock. 8:30. Normally they would all be up and catch the cool ocean waves before the afternoon heat chased anyone not brave enough into the shallows and to laze about. The guys must have had a little too much fun last night. What? Freezing, Tyler closed his eyes in hopes that maybe the other would think he had just rolled into the sleeping male in his sleep. He heard a very unmanly sound, followed by a thump and a yelp of pain. Fuck! God damn it! The elder sat up quickly and did his best to seem surprised as his friend, laying on the floor, clutching his arm. He was worried, but Minnie seemed to be fine, other than a bump on his arm. Why are you on the floor? What the fuck is up with your arm? Are you bleeding? He slid off the bed and onto the floor, grabbing the other's arm and pulling his hand away to inspect it. He didn't notice the bright pink that erupted on the ginger's cheek as he inspected a small scratch. It wasn't life-threatening or anything, so he stood up and pulled Minnie with him to his feet. Didn't you your head or anything? Didn't hit your head or anything, did you? Just your arm? At the shake of the other's head, he smiled. Good, I would want you to hurt yourself. Oh, wait. This is why I don't do voices. Because, like, I get confused of who is actually speaking. Like, you don't know who's asking, and you do not know who is actually gonna do who unless you say their name. But this dude keeps on saying them, they, their, whatever. Who? My God. I already freaked out during Spanish. I don't want to freak out now. Greg pulled his arm towards him and took a step back, his face turning pink. Tyler stepped towards him, hands held out. Listen, Minnie. Tyler, Craig, you okay? Evan peeked at them from around the door, eyes squinted. He looked like someone had ran over him with a truck. Whoa, Ev, you okay? It looks like you got in a fist fight last night. The Blackett chuckled. Why would you say Blackett? That sounds racist. Is it? Tell me in the comments, please. Running a hand over his face. Something like that. Get in here. The guys are wondering where you are. We'll be in there in a second. The eldest waved his hand dismissively. There's something I want to talk to Minnie about. Evan Ranley shrugged. If you say so. Just come in here whenever. We'll tell you about the crazy shit that went down last night. Sounds sweet, Nin. Now do you mind? Do you mind? It's... He gave the ginger a sideways glance. Private. I'm just kidding. I'm fangirling so deadly. I hate this. Ugh. I got you. Evan winked at the two and softly closed the door. The soft click echoing around the suddenly silent room. Listen, The elder held his hand, stopping the other. Let me speak first, then you, okay? Minnie gave a stiff nod, looking down at the floor. Tyler closed his eyes and thought about what to say. He finally had gathered up the courage to pull his... He wasn't sure what to call Minnie anymore. Friend wasn't the right word, and crush would seem too out of place for someone like him. Companion to the side, but now he didn't know what the I can say. I can't cuss so loud. Letting out a sigh, the brunette rolled his eyes. He just couldn't come up with any fucking words, and damn it, he was getting pissed, and when he got pissed, his brain stopped working, which only served to piss him off more, and fucking whatever. His thought process crashed when he noted the lips pressed against his... Wait, what? Did he do this? When he realized that he was being punched in the face, it came to him that maybe the other had started this, and if he wasn't complaining, there was no way in hell he was gonna. He felt Minnie give a start when he threw his arms around him. He was going to just sit there like a teenager who had never been kissed before. No, he was gonna pour all his fucking feelings into this, because there was a chance that would be the last time he ever got to kiss the ginger. The thought of that hurt, and he poured that into the kiss too, raising up a hand and cupped the other's cheeks as he deepened the kiss. I can't breathe, I need water. Oh. Okay, that's better. Oh, great. I'm gonna kill myself for this. Finally, when his lungs could no longer take it, he pulled away and gave the other a look that he was sure leaked with depression. Please tell me you did that on purpose. Minnie rolled his eyes. No, I accidentally leaned up and accidentally kissed you. Feeling tears pricking at the edge of his eyes, he threw his arms around the ladder and squeezed tightly. Aw. God. He couldn't speak. That had to be a dream, right? There was no way in hell his straight. At this point, he realized the straight had been questionable. Best friend suddenly liked him. Him, of all people! What came out of his mouth next surprised not only the male in front of him, but himself too. He meant to say, "Thank God," but instead he found the words, "I love you," coming out of his mouth. Shit. Minnie was quiet for many long moments, and "Get out of here, that is bugging me. Oi, boy." And just when he was convinced the other didn't return his feelings to that extent, he felt hands on his shoulders that pushed him back so they were face to face. The ginger smiled at him, brown eyes lit up with an emotion he couldn't read. "I love you too." I'm terrible at Minnie. Ah! What if I have something in my throat? God. This was a dream. It had to be. Any moment now, Vanos would come beating at his door, telling him to get his lazy ass out of the bed before he sent Delirious in to jump in the middle of them. Tyler Blance, this has to be a dream, right? I'm dreaming? The latter grinned, rubbing his hands. My arm says otherwise. This is real. Still wary, he stepped forward and cupped the other's cheek, ignoring his surprised look. Maybe this wasn't a dream. He was actually there. He could actually. He leaned forward and pressed a quick kiss to the other's lips. This wasn't a dream. If it were a dream, the kisses wouldn't feel like this. That kiss, he found himself murmuring against Minnie's lips. I couldn't stop thinking about it. At first, I thought it was because you were the first guy I had ever kissed. And it was weird, but the more I thought about it, the more I realized I didn't hate it. It didn't take me long to realize that I liked you more than a friend after all. Craig laughed and shook his head, taking him aback. What was so funny? When he voiced this question out loud, Minnie smiled. I liked you before that. Way before that. He was sure he looked like an idiot with his jaw hanging open. As it was, Minnie had liked him before that? How long? Is all he managed to choke out, still surprised. Blushing, the ginger looked at the ground. About a year after we met. A year? After that had to mean. You liked me for 3 years? Yeah. Oh my god. Oi! Stop fangirling. He thought about what had happened to those 4 years he had known Minnie. He had met his girlfriend. The two of them remained close even after their breakup. Moved in with her, and the whole time the ginger hadn't had said a single word. Just sat there and smiled even though it killed him inside. You never said anything. You never acted weird around me or your girlfriend, the latter clarified when he nodded his head. The male continued, because I had no reason to resent her. I quickly chopped with the fact there was a huge chance that you never liked me, so I wanted you to be happy. She made you happy, so I was happy. Well, now he felt like an ass. Granted, he hadn't known Minnie like him at the time, but still, the thought of him sitting there and laughing along with him and his girlfriend made his heart feel weird. He must have made an odd face because he felt hands grip his wrist. Craig smiled, eyes alight with happiness. It's okay now, though. You're here now. He found himself returning that smile, his heart doing that weird flip it always tended to do when the other was around. Yeah, I am. Okay. Ooh, 15 minutes. That was long. I thought it was short. Okay, that is all for this time. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like, leave a comment, and I will see you guys later. I'm on Tubers. Follow me on there. Peace out, everybody!